Hey everyone, so please don't take this video as offensive, as saying you're wrong, as saying I'm right, or as a trolling video, because this video is 100% none of those things. I have done a why I'm voting for Donald Trump video, sort of trolling in the past, which I did when I kind of didn't really know a lot about his campaign. I didn't really consider him a serious candidate back then. You know, I was very just not into politics when I made that video. Not that I'm super into it now, but I do follow it because, you know, as a citizen who votes and as an American, you know, I feel like it is our duty to pick a leader that is going to do what's best for our country, especially my generation and even the younger generation, which is why I really want to make this video, because I feel my generation, the younger generation, is very social media engulfed, and social media is very liberal, and people just repeat what they hear on the news, which is mostly liberal no matter which channel you go to. And I just wanted to make this video maybe to show a different side, or maybe explain a little bit more of where I think Donald Trump is coming from and what's he going to do for our country without necessarily the crazy antics that come along with Donald Trump, because I think he's just a little bit of a character, if you will. So I think people just maybe have a hard time understanding and processing these issues and what he's really trying to do, and not spinning his motives and making him seem one way. Okay, so we're going to get to all the points that most people talk about when it comes to Donald Trump, and I'm going to hit those and try and maybe just educate y'all a little bit more on where I think he's coming from and what I think he's going to do, which will ultimately better our country. So having said that, I was kind of nervous to make this video because I was like, do I want to make this video? Do I want to really bring it up? Because I don't really go about trolling anymore on my channel, so I don't want to like make people uncomfortable or offend anyone at all. Trust me, this is literally just my opinion and viewpoint and stance, and I just feel like it needs to be, you know, we need to speak out more about it, because I feel like if we don't, like, I wasn't gonna make this video and I was like, you know what, but if I don't and I have this voice, then it could affect the outcome of the election. It could, you just never know. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna speak out about it. So first and foremost, I consider myself Republican. I consider myself Republican, but as far as right-wing, left-wing, I'm kind of more close to the middle as opposed to a right-wing conservative, which I think maybe in the past I kind of considered myself, but I'm not, because let's get one thing perfectly clear before this video is like, she's homophobic and racist. I'm neither of those. But also when it comes to the social issues, I think they are very important. I think they are super important issues. Gay marriage, abortion, etc. I think those are all very important issues. I don't think that should be our main focus when there's a lot happening out there. Sorry, just try to ignore it. All of a sudden it starts beeping and going crazy. I think social issues are important like those. I do 100%. I just don't think those should be the focus on this election, because our country will go to shit if we have the wrong leader in charge of our country. It will go to shit. It's going to shit. It'll go even closer to shit. And I love our country. I love America. I'm sure if you're watching this video and you live in America, you love America. Even if you live in a different country, you probably love America. Like, I know foreigners all the time, they love America. They come here. They want a green card. They come here. Our country is great. It was great. It's okay now, but I think it could be great again, which is Donald Trump's motto, make America great again, right? Again, yeah, I have a hat over there. So, like I said, social issues important, but it's not going to matter who you can marry, who you can't, if our country blows up, basically. So, I do think in that regards, and even like the abortion stuff like that, yes, important. I will reiterate that again. It is important, but like I said, if we get blown up or we become communists, it's really not going to matter then. So let's talk immigration and the wall he's building up and all that stuff, and how he hates immigrants. Donald Trump does not hate immigrants. I'm pretty sure his wife is an immigrant. I'm pretty sure. I think she's a foreigner. Like, I'm sure he does not hate immigrants if he is married to one or a foreigner. I don't think any of us hate immigrants, us as an Americans. I mean, most of us don't, because we hire them, they work in our country. The ones who better our country get jobs, come here legally, you know, pay taxes. Like, we love them because they're making our country even greater. We have outside sources coming in and just different parts of the world, and everyone's just helping stimulate the economy. The problem is when they enter illegally, or drug trafficking, which is the wall. The wall, I suppose, is not to be like, we don't want immigrants. It's to control who does come into our country, because we have so many illegal immigrants in this country right now. I live in California. There are so many taking our jobs, not paying taxes, which are two horrible situations in regards to our horrible economy. So you're taking our jobs, you're not paying taxes, we're paying for you. Same thing goes with the women who come over here to have the baby to give the American benefits. They come over here pregnant, have the baby, they can stay, and now they're reaping the benefits of Americans without having to do the duties that we have to do as Americans. So the wall, per se, is to control that. Same thing with banning the Muslims. A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, he thinks every Muslim's a terrorist. Again, I don't think it's that. I think it's more of controlling who comes into our country, whether it's, you know, there's a lot of Muslims here legally. There are. And there's no issues with that. Religion, freedom of speech is what this country is built on. And that's why people come to America, because we are very open-minded and freedom, and it's not, you're not getting killed for having an opposing belief over here. It's just coming in and regulating who's coming in, doing extensive background checks on all of them. Like, that's it. And that's just keeping our country safe. And I'm choosing all my words very carefully, because I know, like, if you mention something like 9/11 where there was Muslim attacks, like terrorist attacks, that's such a small percentage. I don't want to go there. I'm just saying, if there was a more extensive background check and all that other stuff, like, I feel like a lot of that terrorist mentality could be avoided. Not that all Muslims are terrorists, absolutely not. Am I saying that in no way, shape, or form? And you know, there are awful Americans here too. Like, I'm not saying like, oh my gosh, the immigrants are ruining our country. They're not. It's just not fair to Americans here, whether you're a natural born citizen or, you know, you're a resident or, you know, what have you. It's not fair to those of us who are working hard, trying to better ourselves, better the economy, paying the taxes. It's just not fair. We're just going to be actually just digging ourselves into a deeper hole, which again is why I think Donald Trump would make a great president. He's not just a politician, he's a really brilliant business guy, and more on that later. So kind of on that same, like, he's a businessman and not just our standard politician, you know, he has the business mind and the capability to pull our country that is trillions of dollars in debt out of that. Like, that's an amazing thing. And I think to have someone who is so knowledgeable and successful in business, who also is, you know, into doing the political thing, I think that's a great merger that we have not seen so far in this country. And aside from that, when it comes to our economy, as I was talking about before, you know, not only just providing the jobs for Americans that pay taxes, you know, keeping those, it's bringing even more jobs and keeping all of our business here in America. Right now we are in China, Indonesia, Mexico. Keeping the jobs here in this country, it will not only help our economy, but it also gives incentive to stay in the US. So people don't have to go overseas to get jobs, and we're not outsourcing. And I think ultimately that just brings up the economy. So him getting us out of debt and him bringing more jobs and all the business here in America, keeping it in America, is really what will make America great again. I know that sounds crazy, but everything seems to be outsourced, and I think having the jobs here is just a really solid foundation to building our economy back up, giving people more jobs. Again, people who want to come to America to make a better life for themselves, they'll have the jobs here. We'll have the control over who gets jobs, and anyone who has a job will have to pay taxes. So again, it's kind of like full circle when it comes to the stuff I was talking about earlier, and just an automatic good thing for our country. And finally, Donald Trump is very outspoken. Oh my gosh, coming from someone who is like a former troll, for the girl who says exactly what's on her mind, he is very outspoken, and I think that may be a little threatening to some people, because usually our politicians like to bullshit us and be like, you know, like Hillary, I feel like she talks in circles and says the same thing over and over and doesn't really say anything. I feel like politicians don't really say anything. So with Donald Trump just saying the most, everyone's just like, whoa, what? So when he says he's gonna bomb the shit out of ISIS and build our military up again and build it strong, I think a lot of people aren't just, one, a president has never been so aggressive when it comes to fighting and building our military. I don't think any president has been. A lot of people are just like, no war, love only. But like, I mean, if we're being attacked, we have to attack back. We have to have a strong military, and America has to have the strongest. That's just, it is what it is. So I think people are just a little maybe taken aback by all that. And I get it. It's a lot to like handle, but I'd rather have someone who's just straight to the point, no bullshit, this is what I'm doing. You know what I mean? As opposed to, oh, like hinting around, you know, pussyfooting, oh, this might happen, or we might do this. And, you know, with Obama, he was so, change is gonna happen. It's like, well, what change? Like, everybody wanted change, so it sounded really good, including to myself. I was like, well, you know what, that's probably good. Everybody wants change, but what was the change? I think even people after Obama was in office for his first term, I feel like even people who supported Obama were like, okay, what is Obama doing besides legalizing gay marriage, which again is an important issue, I am aware, but the rest of our country is just going downhill, downhill, downhill. So it's like, yeah, okay, and get married, but we're all gonna be going to shit. So, you know what I mean? I think it's just, some people focus a little too much on, again, not to be offensive, this smaller picture rather than the bigger picture of, you know, we don't want to get attacked again, we don't want to feel unsafe. And Donald Trump, I'm sorry, of any presidential candidate in the history of presidents that I can remember, Republican candidate, makes me feel safe. Like, I feel like he is someone who is just going to do what he says, and he's going to be aggressive about it. And I feel like at this point we need someone who is aggressive. As much as I loved George W. Bush, I feel, and he was a great president, especially during our crisis that we were having in 2001. He was definitely a great president. I don't know any president that could handle it quite like that. I think he still was just maybe a little timid, even though he wasn't afraid of military and going to war and all that stuff like that. I still feel like he was just maybe a little intimidated. And maybe Obama too. I feel like Obama just got overwhelmed. And look, I'm not going to bash the liberal side, and even our current president, President Obama. You know, I live in America. I love America. Whoever becomes president, I will continue to live in America and try and just do what I do, which, you know, pay taxes, be a law-abiding citizen, and, you know, work and stimulate the economy and all that stuff like that, and things that I can do, and, you know, and trust in our leaders that they'll do good. You know, same thing with Obama. He was our president for 8 years. At that point, you just have to trust in him, and I, you know, I will stand by that. But at the same time, I am so strongly for Trump, and I'm so strongly saddened by the things that are out there about him, and that what people are focusing on him rather than the actual issues. You know, people are all about Bernie Sanders because he's not Hillary, he's not Trump, so they're like, okay, we'll do feel the burn, you know, and that's like becoming a trend and a tag. And I think people, especially young people who maybe don't follow like the actual news and not just The View, where there's a bunch of libs on there just talking, which, by the way, that's a whole other video. The View ladies, I'm sorry, like, look, I liked The View back in the day because I feel like they all had kind of varied opinions, but now they all kind of have the same opinion, same stance. They all just, you know, eat each other's asses about it. It's just, oh, I hate it. And so why I have a gripe with that is because women watch The View, and so these 5 women or 6 women, or how many people they have on there at a time, because they're always changing, are so anti-Trump, and oh my gosh, he hates women. It's like, obviously Donald Trump doesn't hate women, but at the same time, it's like this, again, women's rights is not a thing that we're going to, that I think we need to be focusing on. I mean, this is not 1940 at this point. It's not like we're regressing. It's not like he's going to be like, women can't vote and women can't have, I mean, no, that's not what he's saying at all, you know what I mean? So I think The View give the women the bad name. I think if Donald Trump's watching The View, I get it. I get why he would not like women. You know, not that I'm not saying Donald Trump hates women. I don't think he does at all, but I'm just saying, like, I get it, you know what I mean? So, and I think The View has a lot to do with it. So point being is media as a whole tends to be very left. And it will show you what you want to see. Like, it'll show you what they want you to see. And that's true with every side, though. You know, I think Fox News can be a little bit right side. I mean, sometimes they're not. So I would just encourage you to read up on everything. Try not to look at interviews too much, or like attacks on each other's wife. Oh, that was the thing, like Donald Trump like attacking someone's wife or something, like saying, oh, well, look at her. Or, I don't know. Look, who they're married to is not important. That is not important to me at all. Like, whoever you're married to, good on you, whatever. Like, who cares? Who cares? But I think at the end of the day, we have to be focused on our leader, and also like look at their track record. Like, Donald Trump has a very good track record as far as business goes, and I think that's a really big concern, I think, for me, and I think for most Americans, is our economy. You know, I think that's a huge thing in our debt that we're in. I think that's a huge thing. And of course, him with the military and wanting to bomb ISIS and all this stuff like that, I think that's great. And also just keeping our country under control. And I think that's the big thing with the immigration thing, is just keeping it in our control, which, you know, we need. Otherwise, we're going to lose control of our whole country. It's going to be a shitstorm, and we're all gonna go to hell in a handbasket. And I'm just not ready for that yet. I am only 27 years old, and I want to be living in this country and thriving in this country, hopefully have kids in this country, and America is great. And so I'm 100% with Donald Trump to make America great again. So I wanted to make this video, again, just more of maybe shedding a balanced side to things, because while I am voting for Trump, I don't agree with every single thing this guy stands for, you know. But at the same time, I'm not gonna like be like, oh, we'll go with the left because, you know, I want to have an abortion. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, you know what I mean? So anyways, I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you stayed through this long, I'm assuming that you really wanted to hear what I have to say. So hopefully I came across in the best way I can. I'm not always the most well-spoken or the most educated gal in the world, but you know, this is what I do know and what I do feel and think and believe. And you can trust that I'm being serious, because I really do want, I feel like young people can make a difference in this election, as they do every election. I feel like we have a lot of the control and a lot of the power, and that's it. So I love you guys so very much. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm not going to do my regular sign off just in case the guy always say, hi, she does not endorse Donald Trump. But I do love you guys, and I do want this country to be amazing. If you're in America, if you're not in America, I'm sorry if this video is kind of like, what is she talking about? But yeah, I will see you guys in my next video, and it will not be political, I promise. I have tried to steer clear kind of this through the whole thing, but like I said, I felt something in me, when I have to speak my mind, I want to speak it, you know what I mean? I just felt like it was almost my American duty to make a message in support of Donald Trump, and not just being a crazy batshit bitch about it, you know what I mean? Like, and he's hot, and you know what I mean? Like what I used to do. So I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in my next video.